Caspian 3 times. Saw it on Sunday night. And I didn't go see Indiana Jones, not because I wanted to boycott it or anything, but it really was just because, I've never been a big Indiana Jones fan, and I didn't think it looked that good. And decided I'd just rather see Prince Caspian again. I quite enjoyed it the third time, and I think the second viewing was the best, but I enjoyed it the third time. It'll be interesting to see how it stands the test of time. I don't think Wardrobe did. I enjoyed the first few viewings of it in theaters, but I don't think it has stood that was really the best, those first few viewings. I don't think Wardrobe has stood the test of time as much as other movies. So it'll be interesting to see how Prince Caspian stands up. But I'm just gonna talk about a couple more issues. This one issue, I haven't really talked about it hardly at all. I've kind of mentioned it, and it's really just because we didn't really know much about it. We kind of knew it was there, it was hinted at, we just didn't know exactly how or when or exactly how it was going to play out. But Caspian's whole, did you kill my father thing he has with Miraz. And as an adaptation, I don't have a big problem with this. It just seems like kind of silly and cliche as a movie. For once I want the truth, did you kill my father? And Ben Barnes did fine with it, but it was just, seen it in so many other movies. But why do they have it in there? I think that thematically, I don't have a huge problem with it as an adaptation. They wanted, at the very end, Peter gives the sword to Caspian and says, you can kill Miraz, basically, and Miraz says, you would have made a good Telmarin king after all. I think she's going to kill him. And Caspian says, not like you. Again, it seems like kind of a cliche scene to me. But not like you. That scene really is about, the theme that Douglas Gresham's always talked about and Andrew Adamson has talked about is the idea of return, the return to the old days, and those old ideas of chivalry and honor that the Telmarines totally threw away and are now gone. Even the magic of Narnia is now, and a lot of the talking animals are completely gone. And the fact that Caspian spares Miraz's life, it's him really making a statement on what kind, because Caspian's going to be the next king of Narnia. It's him making a statement of what kind of king he's going to be, that the Telmarine rule is over, the old ways of chivalry and honor and duty have returned. And so that's why I didn't have a problem with that. I thought it was consistent with the themes of the book. Then, of course, the reason they have that cheesy scene in the night raid where, where Caspian has Miraz pointed with a sword, did you kill my father? I think this thing they wanted to set up Caspian's anger towards it, which is not really in the book. In the book, when Peter suggests a single combat, Caspian says, "Oh, could it be me? I'd like to avenge my father." And Peter says no, and that's it. That's all it is in the book. But they just wanted to, set up Caspian's anger, and I think what they wanted to do is they didn't want the last scene where Miraz is defeated. They didn't want it to just be about, oh, he's the bad guy, we have to kill him so we can take back Narnia. They decided to make it more personal, and so Caspian has, besides Miraz just being the bad guy, and they have to defeat him to take back Narnia. It's also Caspian has a personal reason. It's the fact that he killed his father, and it shows he has a lot of anger towards that. And and then he spares his life despite that anger. Once again, it's a statement of the old ways have returned. I'm not going to be a king like you. The old days where chivalry and honor and duty have returned, which is a major theme in Prince Caspian. So, didn't have a big problem with that as an adaptation, but as a movie, it seemed pretty cheesy. Every scene where they were talking about that felt like I've seen this in another movie before somewhere. So, it's basically how I feel. The way the single combat ends, when we heard about it, I think it was an IMDb report, it sounded like a huge change. Because anytime you're changing the ending and how the villain is defeated and stuff, of course it feels like a big change. After seeing the movie, I don't think it's that big of a change. I mean, in the book, they're fighting and Miraz trips over something apparently, and Peter decides, he could have killed him, he decides not to. He decides to back off and let him rise. Comes to being a knight and a high king and all, Edmund says. And in the movie, Peter actually beats him, and then he chooses not to actually kill him, or he chooses to give the sword to Caspian. So basically, the thing they both have in common, the book and the movie, is that in both versions, Peter has Miraz. He could kill Miraz. Miraz is at his mercy, but he chooses not to. So that's the main thing. That's the important thing, and it happened in both versions. The difference is that Peter actually beats him in this one and passes on the sword to Caspian. Now, obviously, I just explained why it's he passes on the sword to Caspian because it gives him that opportunity to show what kind of King Caspian's going to be, and that he spares his life, the return of the old ways. Just talked all about that. And so it doesn't strike me as that huge of a change. The important thing is that Peter ultimately spares Miraz's life. That's the important thing. So the ending of the single combat doesn't seem like a huge change. And there's also that recurring symbol throughout the movie of Peter and Caspian passing on swords. At the beginning, Caspian takes Peter's sword when they're fighting, and then you'll probably be wanting yours back, and gives the sword. And then there's the scene here. Once again, Peter is showing that he's learning humility, and he acknowledges that this is really Caspian's decision to make. He's the next king of Narnia, and he gives Caspian the sword. Then, of course, at the very end, Peter is leaving and gives Caspian the sword, and it just has a symbol of Peter acknowledging that Caspian is the king of Narnia, and our time is up, and that's just that symbol. So that's why I liked it. When I first heard about that Peter was going to give up Rindon, it never struck me as a huge change, and there was really no other reason I didn't like it except it just seemed weird. It seemed like, Father Christmas gave the sword to Peter, it just seemed kind of wrong. There was no reason to get upset over it. It just seemed kind of strange. After seeing it in the movie, Caspian says, I'll look after until your return. It seems pretty clear to me, because I had always envisioned when I read that report initially that Caspian was going to have Rindon on his belt for Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and it was going to be his sword he was going to use. Now I don't think so. Now I think that Peter was just giving it to him because he didn't need a sword, and it was sort of, just once again a symbol of Peter acknowledging that you are the true king of Narnia. I would be surprised now if Caspian is actually using the sword in Voyage of the Dawn Treader. And I think it was a very nice moment of having Peter, sort of pass on the torch, or in this case, the sword, and you're the next king, and our time is up. So, seen it 3 times now, and I still like it. Still like it better than Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And I've got some Voyage of the Dawn Treader as a production designer, and it's all about to begin again. I don't think I'm going to do these videos for Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Just the main reason being that, if I do, they won't be nearly as common or elaborate. The main reason is that, in this one, this was really the perfect movie to do videos on. There were a lot of controversial issues, and after I went to the set, I kind of figured, well, gosh, if there's going to be one movie where I read every single spoiler on, this is the one to do it on. But with Dawn Treader, obviously I'm going to watch trailers and read some reports and join in on the discussion, but I do want to avoid the biggest spoilers. And so I won't be able to, I don't think my videos I wouldn't want to, all it would take is one YouTube comment to ruin something for me. And so I think if I can't read every single spoiler, then the videos aren't as interesting, or aren't even as fun for me to do. And I do these for me. And I have a definitive record of my experience anticipating Prince Caspian, and I've been watching some of my old videos now, and it's such fun. Some things I was wrong, some things I was right, some things I've completely changed my opinion over, like the White Witch. Freaked out, now it's something I don't like, but I'm okay with it. I understand why they did it. And so little things like that. But I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to do these. I could analyze the film forever. Literally, you just go on forever analyzing every little thing, and then when the Blu-ray the Prince Caspian Blu-ray comes out, which will probably be in December, you'll really be able to analyze it. But I'll just kind of stop whenever. I don't know if I'll have this is the last episode, but I'll just have to see. I still intend to do at least several more videos just talking about it and analyzing the movie. But I'm not sure where it's going to end exactly. I kind of thought I would end shortly after the movie came out, but there's still a lot to talk about, just analyzing the film. So, had a blast doing these. This is number 80-something. And it's going to be kind of sad, to stop. But this is an experiment, and for the next one, I'm just going to kind of sit back and watch it rather than, reporting all the time. And hopefully someone else will do something. A few other people have done stuff like this, and it's fun watching their videos, but I'm hoping a lot of other people will start doing this for Voyage of the Dawn Treader. But Dawn Treader is getting underway, and here we go again.